You played very, very hard. I can't fault the intensity of the effort. I thought we played very, very, very hard. For that, I appreciate that the seniors came out and, 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, consolation game, tough situation to play in. I think you guys played as hard as you could play. And for the most part, we even stretches played very well. So, to the seniors, a hell of an effort. To the younger guys, I will just say this, and I hope the seniors will support me on this. This 10th grade group in 2 years has the potential. I want to underline that word, highlight it, and it's really potential. It could go one of two ways. That team could be not very good. It really could turn out not a very good team, like really not a very good team. Or it could turn out to be a far better basketball team than this one. All of you are going to be seniors. You're going to have Zach Schultz, who can shoot the lights out. You're going to have David Steinbrook, who can shoot the lights out and handle it. You're going to have Willard Gutman, who is probably a better point guard in terms of understanding than anything we have on the team right now today. Physically, he's not able to compete, but mentally he should. You're going to have a big guy who can play. You're just going to have a lot of pieces. You're going to have tremendous depth. You're going to have shooters. You're going to have guys who can run. That team could be great. That team could be great. But you're at a fork in the road. And I just want to point out a lot of the things that cost us the game today were things, Jordan, Jake, Ben, Kevin, I hope you'll back me on this, the things that cost us today are things I've been harping on you guys about since the day you came into specials. And one of them is just listen and execute. Listen and execute. One of the things I've harped on this group about for 4 years is that they don't do a very good job of listening and executing. And that hurt us today early when we had some things set up against the press and we just went, the first time they pressed, we just went, just right out of the chute. And then late in the game, it's okay, let's try these back. Okay? And some other things, shot selection, we've been talking about driving the ball and things like that. So what worries me about that a little bit is that, our 10th grader who played a lot today, that's what I saw. Adam, I told you at halftime, you cannot keep driving the ball to the basket. He's too big. And every time you drove to the ball to the basket in the second half, they got the ball in the field. Okay? That's not a good sign. Okay? So you guys, you younger guys, you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision about whether you're going to decide to be basketball players or not. And then that's the first thing, is you guys got to start listening. You got to start taking coaching. Okay? The truth is, these seniors, they did a good job. This is a good showing. There's nothing embarrassing about this showing, but they threw away a lot of coaching. Let's use a better word. They squandered a lot of coaching. They squandered a lot of coaching, but if they could go back and do it over, I suspect they wouldn't squander a second time. There were a lot of things we've been telling them from the time of the 9th and 10th graders that I suspect they wish they could go back in those 9th and 10th grade games and change what they did and make habits out of doing some different things. Okay? Make habits out of doing some different things. And if they'd done that, this was a good showing, but it would have been a hell of a lot better showing. Okay? Because we were close in every game. Even SAR, we had tremendous opportunities early in the second half. It was nobody outclassed us here. Nobody. Okay? That's only the second time we've come out here where that's happened. And the other time, you know who it was. Where we come out and fought every game, and we've been in every game, and it was clear that no one in the tournament, top to bottom, could knock us out. We were close. But it was all those little things we've been talking about that cost us. It was not one big thing. It wasn't one big thing. It wasn't one big thing today. You want to hang it on Jordan? Jordan made some big shots. Okay? Now, I'll give the devil his due. Yosha made huge shots down the stretch. He did. He just made huge shots when they needed them. Okay? It wasn't one thing. It was little things all along the way. A missed assignment, it was that terrible first quarter where we did everything wrong. It was some missed assignments in the second. We should have just been gradually building up a cushion, gradually. So when Yosher heated up in the fourth, we should have just hung on for dear life and won the game by 3 or 4. That's what should have happened. It was all those little things along the way. Okay? So that's the first thing. It's not making those kind of mistakes. The second thing for you younger guys is player development. You got to get better individually, and that's just, if you want to, you want to. If you don't, you don't. I don't care. I'm not going to knock myself out trying to make any of you commit to being better. Now, if any of you commit to being better, I will knock myself out helping you. But I'm not going to chase you around and ask you to get better. If you want to be a good team, everybody will get better. One of the things that hurt us phenomenally in this tournament, and really, truthfully, more than anything what hurt us, was the inability of guys to make plays. We just only got one guy on our team who can make a play. And at some point, some of these games get a little helter-skelter, they get a little ragged. Third period of North Shore, whatever it is, sometimes you just need a guy to make a play. Other teams have that, right? Barron had it. They just needed a play, and bam, they got one. North Shore needed a play. SAR needed a, and we have a guy who, and even he's not, truth be told, he's not real athletic, I mean, that SAR kid pretty well took him away because that he was just as smart and just as clever and just as athletic. And Jordan's not a kid he's not going to out-quick anybody or out-jump anybody. I mean, it's hard for him to make a play. He has to be almost flawless in his execution individually to make a play. And so, we didn't have anybody else. We don't have the skills. And we're talking about, and again, you seniors help me, Kevin. You should be the best player in the tournament. Do we see any player in the tournament more athletic than Kevin Solsky? He's freaking 5'8". He can jump up and grab the rim with 2 hands. Right? He's quick. Look what he did to Isaac out there, okay? Think how good he could have been. Right? If you could go back and do it over, Kevin, would you do some things differently? Well, that's what I'm trying to, that's the message I'm trying to get across. Kevin had a hell of a senior year, and he had a hell of a game today. I mean, my goodness. Hell of a game. I mean, beat that kid like there was no tomorrow. What did that kid have, Coach? He didn't hurt us. Isaac didn't hurt us. Isaac did not hurt us today. I mean, he, not at all. And he did a hell of a job. But he'd like to go back and do it over because he knows that, think about how good a team would be if that was our second best player. Or if that guy had been pushed every day in practice to be the best player by a guy just as, think about that. How'd you like to roll out that basketball team? Okay? So we just got to, you young guys, if you want to be good, I'm telling you, you have the potential to win this thing. The pieces are there. Big people, shooters, ball handlers, depth, with speed, everything. But you got to make a commitment to start. And this ought to be a hell of a motivating factor. Okay? Ought to be a hell of a motivating factor. Most of you weren't even good enough to get out there today. And the one guy who did was atrocious. That should be a pretty good motivation to get better, I would think. Okay? All right, that's all. I'm not trying to beat up on anybody. I'm just telling you, you have the potential to come out here and be kings of the hill in 2 years. You do. But I've had some other teams in this situation who just went home and forgot about it and were content to play at the bottom tier. Don't be content. Don't waste that opportunity because you're about to get a whole infusion of talent over the next 2 years. Okay? All right, seniors again. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. It was just, as I said, it was 1,000 little cuts along the way that did it. It wasn't any one thing I can point to. It wasn't any guy I can point to. It was just those little opportunities missed, which is sort of in the theme of the time. But I thought you played hard as hell. I did. I mean, I really thought you played hard, and it was clear today that the strength of the basketball team was our seniors. I mean, to the extent that when we were flowing and things were going well, it was you guys making plays. All 4 of you, by the way. Ben played very well today, too. There's one I'd like to have back, but other than that, I thought he played a very good basketball game. So I can't fault the effort by our 4 seniors at all. Okay? Really, I thought you played a hell of a game. Sorry. All right. In the end, as I say, you can't take an offensive play. You're not going to shut that kid down. It's not going to happen. I thought we did as good a job on those 2 guys as we did. We just couldn't do it. And, tough game, better team. Lost to better team. Okay? All right, let's head back. Great. Bring it up one last.